and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage and also principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage Inc. I'm your host. The goal of Realty Coffee Talk is to create connectivity, to increase awareness and building consumer confidence in real estate, and promote good ethics and business practices. You are on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. Topics. There are a couple of topics about real estate. We're going to talk about real estate sales trend. We're going to talk about agreement of purchase and sale, where sometimes people breach their agreement, they fail to fulfill their commitment, and what are the consequences. And then we talk about some disciplinary action by Real Estate Council of Ontario, where consumer or realtors have complained about the ethics and how the business was done. So we're going to share some generic information to make it simple. So let's go back. In July, we have a minus 14.9%, almost 50% minus sale as compared to last July. So we have in 2020 11,033 transactions, and we have in 2021 July 9,390 transactions. New listing, we had 18,119 in July 2020, and we have 12,551 in 2021, so minus 30.7%. This data is from the Market Watch from Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. Active listing has declined minus 35% in 35.2% in GTA 416 and 905 area, from 15,018 in 2020 to 9,732 in July 2021. So you can see that an average price of July last year was $943,594. It has now $1,062,256. So you can see that from July last year to this July, there is a 12.6% increase. It has come down. In June, our average price from last June to this June was 17%. So you can see that 17 minus 12.6, that's a reduction in average price from June to July. So that means I'm going to look at this prices for detached home and similarly for the semis, the townhomes, and condo units. So there are average price between 416 and 905 area. In June was 1,407,540, and right now in July is 1,405,478. So it's declined, the average price for a house. A semi-detached average price 1,555,640 in June, and now was 1,027,895. So it has semi has declined too. Now, in townhome in June was 859,411, and in July it is 849,950. So slightly declined. Similarly, condo unit average price in June was 683,475. It declined to 674,490. Not only that sale has declined, the average price has declined from June to July, and from last July to this July it has increased. So this is just to give you an update that what's going on. And in last 2020, TREB reported 95,770 transactions with an average price of 929,629 in December 2020. And as of July 31st, we already have 79,469 transactions, and the average price is now 1,074,114 as of 31st July. So it's very possible and predictable that we may, first time in real estate history, I'm predicting that it will exceed over 100,000 transactions this year in 2021. We have yet to see, and we have 5 more months. For the 7th month, we already have a 79,469, which is pretty good in terms of transactions. So this is very important for you to know it, and if you have any question regarding real estate, please call me directly. My direct number is 416-451-3489. I'm a broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. My office number is 905-785-9923. I'm more than happy to help you. But if you wish to advertise on Awaz Entertainment, viewers, you can call 647-484-0018 if you have any questions, or if you wish to subscribe and advertise on Awaz Entertainment. It's a great opportunity for you to advertise in Awaz because our voice is reached all over in the world. Now, the most important thing is, last week, I have 2 consumers call me. They are my viewers. They call me. One of them was referred by one of my friends, and she was a single mother. She sold the house and she bought the house. And she was panicking because her mortgage was not approved. And she already sold the house. A single earner. So after guiding, I told her that I cannot interfere with her listing and buying broker, but I can guide you to help you to make sure that you get out of trouble. Because there was a tremendous financial impact, and deal was about to close, and she has no financing and a couple of days left. So with my help and guidance to her, she was able to secure through their agent time extension. And she ended up paying $50,000 deposit, additional deposit, because her house was already closed, and she is now staying in a hotel until the deal closes. And she has to pay fee to get the time extension. The challenging and frustrating part was the person who helped her to buy and sell did not have a BRA. And that person and the brokerage removed the financing condition without securing the financing. So this is very troublesome that she wasn't aware of BRA. And she went ahead and bought a property, put the condition for financing, and she removed it, and she has no idea that this condition was removed. And now she can arrange a mortgage. So this is why it's very important when you are entering into agreement of purchase and sale. There is a form, URIA form 100, that we use. I request all our consumer clients who are watching this program, please sit down with your realtor and go through with them what are your expectations, what you are willing to do it, because you have to make a commitment. You have to expect, and the realtor has to deliver. On the other side, the realtor expects you to cooperate with them when you're listing a property. If you have to make a disclosure, to make sure you do that. So you get familiar with that. One incident that also reported was a multiple offer situation. There was offers, bidding war, and the winning buyer next day refused to give deposit. and it's a firm deal. And if you don't deliver a deposit, you are breaching the agreement that you have negotiated. You could be held legally liable. We consulted with the lawyers to see what we do. The first step would be to mitigate the losses and try to sell this to somebody else and then deal with the consequences. This is what's happened recently. So seller was given options, and they decided they don't want to go to litigation. We were able to call the second person to come and bring the offer, and with the consent and written direction from the seller, the next best offer was accepted, and they decided that the difference is so small, they will give a mutual release and close the file. But we did all the due diligence to make sure he is protected and he's given the opportunity. So we're going to continue the conversation. We're going to take a short break, and you're watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. We'll come back to you shortly.
पूरे ऑन्टेरियो में लाखों लोग अपनी कोविड-19 की वैक्सीन हासिल कर चुके हैं। हेल्थ कनाडा की मंजूर शुदा तमाम वैक्सीन महफूज और अस्पतालों, डॉक्टर्स के दफातर, फार्मेसीज और अवामी वैक्सीनेशन के मुकामात पर हासिल हैं। अपना किरदार अदा करें, अपनी वैक्सीन हासिल करें। 300 जुबानों में मदद के लिए ontario.ca/book वैक्सीन पर जाएं या 1-888-999-6488 पर कॉल करें।
पाकिस्तान का सबसे मशहूर एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग ग्रेन मुगल बासमती राइस अवेलेबल इन बोथ व्हाइट एंड सेला। होम डिलीवरी इज अवेलेबल सब्जेक्ट टू मिनिमम ऑर्डर एंड रेडियस, ऑल्सो अवेलेबल एट योर नेबरहुड फ्रेश कोड। मजीद मालूमात के लिए आज ही कॉन्टैक्ट करें 5146630480 पर या ऑर्डर करें हमारे फेसबुक से। बनाए ये रमजान और भी खास मुगल बासमती के साथ, द प्रीमियम चॉइस फॉर प्रीमियम टेस्ट। 2020 का लाजवाब ऑफर, जहां हम 0% फाइनेंसिंग पर आपकी मनपसंद कार दे रहे हैं, फ्री विंटर टायर्स, और साथ ही हम मुफ्त ऑयल चेंज भी दे रहे हैं, वो भी उम्र भर के लिए। अभी आएं और इस लाजवाब ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। जल्दी करें, आपका खुशामदीद हमारे आउटलेट में, जो कि 60 क्वींस प्लेट ड्राइव एट इंटरसेक्शन क्लोज टू हाईवे 27 एंड रेक्सडेल अपोजिट टू वुडबाइन रेस ट्रैक। जल्द से जल्द इस ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। आज ही कॉल करें सुनील अग्रवाल को 647-703-0218। देखिए खेल की आवाज हर पीर शाम 7 बजे। आज की बात समीना जबीन के साथ हर मंगल रात 8 बजे। इस्लाम इन मॉडर्न टाइम हर मंगल और जुमा शाम 6 बजे। कनेडियन मोज़ेक हर बुध रात 8 बजे। रियलिटी कॉफी टॉक हर जुमेरात शाम 7 बजे। टुनाइट टॉक हर जुमा शाम 7 बजे। देखिए तकरार, कीजिए तकरार समीना जबीन के साथ हर रोज रात 9 बजे और रिपीट सुबह 9 बजे। आप देख रहे हैं आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे।
And welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. We're talking about agreement of purchase and sale, which is signed between buyer and seller, and they make commitment in good faith to complete the transaction. There are two types of agreement commonly using right now. One is a standard freehold agreement of purchase and sale. We also use condominium agreement of purchase and sale for condominium. And the most significantly recently, there was assignment agreement of purchase and sale being used, which is a little bit complex because you are buying a house from an intermediary, the person who has bought from the builder, and he or she is selling it before it is built. So you are assigning that agreement of purchase and sale to this. If you already have an existing home and you negotiated agreement of purchase and sale, you could have an assignment clause if some member of the family wants to join it, and you put in Schedule A. So this is very important. When you are entering into agreement of purchase and sale, you cover everything. I'm not going to go to the detail unless you have a specific question. You can call 647-484-0018 and I can answer your question. When you sign an agreement of purchase and sale, you put some condition in there. Your generally price that you're willing to give, deposit that you're willing to give, and condition period that you want to do the due diligence, and also particularly the completion date, the date you choose to close the deal. The closing date belongs to the buyer. Now on your Schedule A, you have put some condition for home inspection, environmental study, septic tank, water flow, or water pump, or you have a well, blah, 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 or supplying of a floor plans or site survey. These are the normal conditions that you do unless there's environmental issues, contamination, septic tank, blah, blah, blah. Once those conditions are satisfied, the deal becomes firm. That means no party can back out. And then if you do not close the deal, when deal has been firmed, then you will have consequences if you fail to close the deal on time. There is a flexibility depending on if your agent had helped you to put conditions there in case your mortgage is not approved and you don't waive condition. But once you have waived conditions from the deal, that means the seller now going to go ahead and buy his or her own house and making a second commitment. So when a person fails to complete one transaction, it affects 2, 3 other deals, and then everybody end up suing each other, and then all burden comes to the person who failed to close one deal. So this is very, very important. The most important thing that comes in picture, especially in a conditional period, is deposit. You have the obligation, according to URIA form that we use, Form 100, it talks about within 24 hours. But you can change that to a couple of days in case you feel that you need more time to give a deposit. But it put in the Schedule A that you need 2-3 days to get the money together, depending on how much you're paying it. So once the deal doesn't close, for example, during the conditional period, the conditions are not removed, they sign a mutual release and the money is returned to the buyer and the property goes in the market, continue to sell. But once a property has been sold firm, you cannot withdraw that money. That money will go to the seller, and there is 2 ways of doing it. Unless it's in the contract that the buyer will forfeit their deposit upon failing to complete the transaction, and he or she will be held responsible for any consequences or additional costs incurred by the seller to sell property to somebody else. And if these conditions are in there, you don't need to go to litigation. That gives you the authority to release the fund. Or you create a mutual release based on your agreement of purchase and sale and get all parties to sign it, and then once it's signed, you release the money. If there is no agreement, there is no mutual release, then you have to get the order from the court to allow the real estate trust account. Section 27 of real estate business broker. This is the Bible. This is the Bible of real estate. Real Estate Council of Ontario is the regulator that provides guidance for education and registration of realtors and compliance to make sure everybody follow this book, and also consumer protection program where your deposit, consumer deposit is deposited with real estate trust account and nobody can touch it. Once you touch it, it is a criminal effect, and Real Estate Council of Ontario will come come at you very strongly. And that's why they are consumer agency. They're working on behalf of Ontario government to protect consumer and promote professionalism, good ethic, fair play, and honesty and integrity in real estate. So this is the agreement. So when you sign this agreement, please read the clauses. And it says that you have to do everything humanly possible to help close the deal. And you make, all the issues. There are a lot, when you're buying a property, family issues, when you're selling the property, whether it's jointly owned, is a matrimonial home, investment property, these are all disclosure when you meet with your listing agent or the buyer we're talking and disclose that. And seller, you also provide disclosure if any realtor is involved with acquisition or disposition of the property. These are mandatory. Any other benefit or commission, kickback, or any commitment that you have made with the realtor, you have to make sure is documented. You can attach a Schedule A to the listing agreement if you're talking about commission, but everything else, between buying and selling, has to be in the agreement of purchase and sale. Now, the difference between this one, a regular agreement of purchase and sale, you can have assignment clause in there, is assignment agreement of purchase and sale is when you are buying from a seller who was a buyer of the existing property from a builder, and when you assign it, you become liable because you assume the agreement of purchase and sale that this person, seller, has signed with the builder. So you become now a buyer with the builder. So this Schedule B, it talks about the details about the BRA. Schedule B of agreement of purchase and sale for assignment, it talks about the purchase price, the price that you're going to give. Let's assume that you're paying $1 million and the seller has bought it for $800,000, and out of $800,000 he has deposited $200,000. So you have to make sure you complete Schedule B to outline that, and then you also have done some improvement, some upgrades. Those are added in the Schedule B, so make sure that you are not double paying it. And then you have to go and look at the tenant warranty schedule with the agreement of purchase and sale with the builder when they're supposed to close it, and make sure, because the builder have the right to extend the completion date. If you are expecting to move quickly after selling your house and the contractor or the builder delays that date, sometimes you may not be able to recoup the money. There is a provision in the agreement that allow them to delay it. So this is why it's very important to understand how much is the price, what is the original price, minus the difference, minus the deposit, any upgrade, and net amount he or she is paying to this. And make sure, as a suggestion, when you're buying, assuming a clause, if you can afford it, then make sure this deal close with the first deal with the builder. Therefore, you're not paying anything other than the deposit that you did that, and only you are paying the full amount when that transaction is actually taking place. That means your deal will close when the buyer is closing. Some builder will demand extra deposit if you're doing assignment. A seller may charge some money to the original buyer, who is your seller, to pay fee for transfer of assignment fee. Some builders right now are not charging any fee. They're charging maybe $500, $700 as an administrative fee. So these are the details, things you have to pay attention to it. It's very, very important that you think about when you are buying assignment or you're buying from the builder. Also check with your realtor, real estate business broker, or broker of record. What's going on in the marketplace now before you do that? Because as the MLS, we are a member of Canadian Real Estate Association. They maintain data across Canada. We can give a CMA or prepare a price, estimated price value for a property in the area, and we can give you very specific guidelines in this area. How much is value? Is it worth buying through the builder or assignment where something else is available with lots of upgrade? Fencing, granite countertop, quartz, upgraded kitchens, high ceiling, hardwood floor, 5-inch wide, and kitchen stainless steel appliances, built-in appliances. And these are the things that you don't consider them, but they are paid by somebody who built them. So it's very, very important to understand when you're buying and selling, take your inspector. Let her to do the inspection thoroughly, because what will happen if you walk into the house and your equipment start quitting on you? They were working the day you walked in, but if you didn't do inspection because of COVID, people are sending multiple unconditional offers. And since the value of property has declined in last 4 consecutive months, the Canadian Real Estate Association report was telling us 3.5% decline and in price nationwide. And this is further. Remember, these prices are average prices based on Toronto Regional Real Estate Board for 416 and 905 area. 905 area has a lot of cities involved. So we have to use as a guideline, but we have to calculate the value of the property based on condition of the property, location of the property, and what is all about. Because your property frontage is very important, square footage above grade is very, very important, and the finished basement is also very important, and then size of the building. So you have so many ways to calculate value, and I have a couple of programs that I help and educate realtors and consumer for education program, and you can reach out to me and I can tell you how to do that. So this is why it's very important to discuss these things. This document is very serious. When I spoke to one of this consumer, I'm not going to name it, I was shocked that she did not have a BRA. She didn't sign anything, and she did have no idea. She removed the mortgage condition from agreement purchase sale without the mortgage. And I'm very glad that I was able to calm her down and help her out to make sure that we are able to help and to help her out how to handle this without interfering with anyone. Okay? So this is why when you hire a realtor or real estate professional, I'm a broker of record, I'm a CIPS, I'm a FRI. If I'm dealing with seniors, I have SRES, dealing with seniors, seller representative. I have an ABR, accredited buyer representation. I have 6 designation in real estate. You hire people. My fee is not more than what you pay somebody else. It's just extra knowledge and experience and skill set will help you to not to get in trouble when you have situation like this. So I promote even realtor who are watching this program to join our Mississauga Real Estate Board education program. I'm a chair of education committee of Mississauga Real Estate Board and board director. We have good program, and I'm volunteering there to educate our fellow members to do a better job and help them out. So again, viewers, you are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Avara's Entertainment, and I'm going to request, if you are a viewer who is a builder, renovator, painter, real estate agent, broker, mortgage broker, and and involved with the maintenance, painting, plumbing, anything, you should call 647-484-0018 and get a special package. You will get a very special discount from Awaz Entertainment for advertising on Awaz Entertainment, because this Realty Coffee Talk is all about promoting real estate and good ethic in real estate. So we're going to take a short break and we continue our conversation on Awaz Entertainment. Realty Coffee Talk continues.
पूरे ओंटारियो में लाखों लोगों ने अपना कोविड-19 टीका लगवाया है। स्वास्थ्य कनाडा द्वारा अनुमोदित सभी टीके सुरक्षित हैं और अस्पतालों, डॉक्टरों के कार्यालयों, फार्मेसियों और सामूहिक टीकाकरण स्थलों में उपलब्ध हैं। अपनी भूमिका निभाएं, अपना टीका लगवाएं। वेबसाइट ontario.ca/book vaccine पर जाएं या 300 भाषाओं में सहायता के लिए 1-888-999-6488 पर कॉल करें।
पाकिस्तान का सबसे मशहूर एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग ग्रेन मुगल बासमती राइस अवेलेबल इन बोथ व्हाइट एंड सिला। होम डिलीवरी इज अवेलेबल सब्जेक्ट टू मिनिमम ऑर्डर एंड रेडियस। ऑल्सो अवेलेबल एट योर नेबरहुड फ्रेश कोड। मजीद मालूमात के लिए आज ही कॉन्टैक्ट करें 5146630480 पर या ऑर्डर करें हमारे फेसबुक से। बनाए ये रमजान और भी खास मुगल बासमती के साथ, द प्रीमियम चॉइस फॉर प्रीमियम टेस्ट।
KK Travel believe in providing everyone the first class customer service. We take care not only for your air ticket but dignity and respect as well. We are available for you anytime on WhatsApp, even while you are in Pakistan or any other destination. KK Travels guarantee lowest prices and are open to price match any airline.
We are KK Travels under supervision of Gas Khan at 905-367-9433 or visit www.gaskhanTravels.com.
आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट कनाडा का सबसे ज्यादा देखा जाने वाला उर्दू हिंदी टीवी चैनल अब दस्तयाब है सैटेलाइट और केबल पर। इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, सऊदी अरब, यूनाइटेड अरब इमिरात, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूजीलैंड, यूनाइटेड किंगडम और कई सारे मुमालिकों में दस्तयाब। दुनिया के कोने कोने में पहुंचेगी आपकी आवाज सिर्फ और सिर्फ आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट के साथ।
Welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage, and I'm your host. Now we're going to talk about disciplinary action taken by Real Estate Council of Ontario, the regulator, that is a consumer protection agency. I'm going to share with you generically issues that you can go to reco.on.ca and you can find details. This was first in January 24, 2020. A broker was found guilty of using a non-registered person in the brokerage to perform duties, and even, as I mentioned, you must be licensed under Real Estate Business Broker Act. So if you need someone to help you in real estate transaction and she was not registered, you could be fined. In this case, she was fined $6,400 as a person. When Real Estate Business Broker Act, RICO, they fine people depending on the type of the crime. They not only fine the agent or the broker, but they also fine the brokerage, and the cost could be hefty. In this case, she was fined $6,400. Same day, I believe it's the same company, now the employee, and one, it says ABC company plead guilty. They plead guilty to one count of employing an unregistered person to perform duties for which registration is required. So same group. First was the girl who was the agent, and guess what? REBA section 30 within B was fined $32,000. 4 times the fine of hiring a one person who was not registered. You know, you can see sometimes people in the mortgage business also, they work with the mortgage agent, but they don't tell people. Oh, they cannot call consumers. They don't have a license. If you're doing administrative work, doing the filing and administrative work within the brokerage, or yet your home, that's fine. But you cannot use them for real estate transaction. We are supposed to register non-registered person who will performing any type of work. If you are a member of TRAP, they will have a form, they have to fill it out and say Miss or so-and-so is working as an admin or assistant, non-registered. And you also make sure you declare that. But they cannot perform the duty of trade in real estate. That is prohibited under REBA. And this is why I'm pointing out to you, do not expect. So when you are buying and selling real estate, when a realtor reach out to you or you reach out to a realtor, the best way to go is to go to RECO, RECO.on.ca, and check out the name of the realtor who came on your door, or he gave you a flyer or a business card to make sure he or she is licensed. The card does not guarantee that this person is registered or not. We are supposed to have a certificate on our cell phone because we're required under REBA to have a certificate of registration with us in our possession when we're performing duties under the law. So we show that license to our consumer to make sure that they feel confidence that we are working with a registered. But if you don't have that, you go to RECO.on.ca and search registered. So you will find salesperson, broker, or broker of record. You can put their first and last name and click, it will give you the name, registration. If they're registered, it will show up how long their license is valid. Name of the brokerage they are working with, the location, the phone numbers are. Similarly, if you want to know to make sure the person who's registered is also, his brokerage is registered, there is no complaint or issue, then you put the name of the brokerage and verify that. This is why it's very, very important. It seems to me in this particular case, somebody has complained about it, that somebody is working, or inspection done by RECO found out that this person is not licensed and practicing. They not only find the agent, but they also find the brokerage and fine $6,400 to the agent and $32,000 to the brokerage. So it's hefty. This is another case. This person was on April 9, 2021. In December 2020, this person was accepting commission, direct commission without through the brokerage. And he collected $17,500 commission privately without the brokerage, and he was fined to pay back $20,000 in 6 months. And he was ordered to pay back. Law prohibits to collection of data. If there is any commission, any referral fee, a real estate agent or a broker, it has to come through the brokerage, because brokerage has to document it and then make the payment, because we also have to collect GST and HST on it. So the law prohibited, and because that person violated section 31(2) of the REBA 2002. So you consumer, please do not pay commission to the realtors. You have obligation, agreement that you have signed with a listing agent or BRA, it is between you and the brokerage. Now there are 3 types of brokerage. One is a corporation, which we normally everybody use. City Pro Realty Inc., my broker, is also corporation. Second broker is partnership, where 2 or 3 agent brokers become partners and they register that as a partnership. Those are brokerage. And third one is a self-employed. For example, my name is Tahir I. Qureshi, and if I go to RECO to register Tahir I. Qureshi Real Estate Brokerage, then I am myself, but the name is Tahir I. Qureshi Real Estate Brokerage. It's not a corporation, it's an individual. but you will pay to that name, not to individually, no cash. It has to be paid by certified check or local bank or whatever transaction. Right now, people are transferring funds, EFT, electronic transfer of funds, whatever. It has to go to the brokerage. So this gentleman was fined, and he has to pay $6,000. So, and he has appealed that. So there is a protocol, people can appeal that. So this is why it's very, very important for you to understand that. Reason I'm saying is that never pay commission directly to the realtor. You have to pay to the brokerage. This is a case where an agent was guilty of one count of failing to notify registrar in writing within 5 days of a change to information on application. When we register our information to registrar, if we change, we have started new activity, we moved from one location to other location, within 5 days is required, section 34-1 of regulation 56705, that we notify real estate council. Recently I got my DR license from Ontario Security Commission. The day I got notification, I notified real estate council immediately, because we're supposed to tell them this is other activity I will be doing. So this is why this person failed to notify, make change. You moved from one location to the other location. You didn't notify. So he was fined $2,500. It's a very small mistake, but it is still contravention to Real Estate Business Broker Act. The purpose of sharing this information is so you know, if you are a realtor, if you make changes to your transaction, location, registration information, you need to update that. And also give confidence to consumer that there is a watchdog who's looking after consumer protection, promoting professionalism, fairness, honesty, integrity in real estate. So people have faith on real estate profession. Very few minor thing happens. Majority of the people are very responsible real estate professionals and do work very hard. You have no idea how long it takes to get a deal done and get paid. We pay mortgages, the house, car payments, insurance, and funding our, support for the family, food, putting food on table, and sometimes we don't get paid for 3, 4, 5 months, depending on it. So it's very, very important to not get in trouble. Now here's a very significant penalty that I saw. It happened, the report was in 15 January 2020. In November 2019 happened, a registrar pled guilty. He pled guilty to one count of obstructing an inspector to conducting an inspection, and 2 counts of as a broker of record. He obstructed the home inspection, and he was also a broker of record to failing to ensure that a brokerage comply with REBA and the regulation. So when in our real estate, we have a real estate salesperson, real estate broker, and real estate broker of record. Broker of record is a complying officer. I'm a broker of record, I'm a complying officer. My responsibility is to all employees of the brokerage, do not contravene the regulation. And they follow this book and guidelines that I provide and mentor them. So on January 5th, 15, he was ordered to pay $33,000 fine. The penalty became more hefty because he was a broker of record. And $58,000 plus in restitution. He was also sentenced to 2 years of probation. You see how strict our regulator is? I commend them. They do an amazing job. So if you are doing, when you are stopping someone to not do home inspection, there must be something wrong with the property. They may have discovered some facts. I don't have the details of that. We're not privy to all the details. I'm just sharing with you. When you are a realtor representing a buyer or a seller, you don't prevent the buyer to not do a home inspection. It becomes more critical if you have a multiple representation. You are representing buyer and seller, and there's some problem with the property and you're preventing a home inspector not to do inspection, you are going to get in trouble. Because sooner or later, those hidden defects will be discovered. When a new buyer move into the house, start using the house, you can see there are some challenges and you immediately report them. As a broker record, you have ultimate responsibility to make sure no one contravenes the Real Estate Business Broker Act 2002 as amended by TRESA 2019. Because our ultimate goal is consumer protection. We are here to help consumer so they have a confidence in us that we are there to help them. We provide them honest real estate services, and we are there to protect them. We have a fiduciary duty to be honest, fair, competent, maintain integrity, and deliver a valuable service so everybody is happy, and make a happy joy for someone moving into the house, not to end up in challenges moment they move in. Most of cases, people have to refurnish the houses, there are lots of expenses, and all of a sudden you discover defects which are visible and you have ignored, not doing your home inspection, and you have a problem. So this is why it's very important for us to build consumer confidence in real estate. Realty Coffee Talk is creating its own image, helping people to increase awareness and promote good ethic and business practices. Again, I request all our viewers who are watching Realty Coffee Talk to promote your product and services on Awaz Entertainment. You can call 647-484-0018. You will get a special price package for you because you are a viewer of Realty Coffee Talk. You are a lawyer, you are a home inspector, you are a painter, you are an agent, you are a mortgage agent, you are a brokerage, a real estate brokerage, mortgage brokerage. Anyone in construction, builder, you can advertise and get a special deal from Awaz Entertainment. Thank you very much for watching. On behalf of Realty Coffee Talk, I want to wish to all a safe, because our industry is now open. There is a majority of the people have two double vaccination, and more travelers will be coming into the country. Be careful still, maintain social distancing, wear the mask where necessary. I take this opportunity to thank our health staff, doctors, nurses, medical staff, armed forces, security forces, police, Peel Police, RCMP, CISA, for dedication and commitment to protect Canadian. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Thank you very much. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. on Awaz Entertainment. Bye for now. Thank you. Bye for now.